Cool. You can start whenever you're ready.
Great. All right, can you see my presentation?
Yes. And real quick, Rebecca, do you want questions while you're presenting or do you want to hold them off until the end?
I think maybe hold them off to the end if that's okay with
Yep.
everyone.
That sounds good. You guys can put them in the chat.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, thank you everyone for being here today. My name is Rebecca Thomas, in case you missed my intro. I'm here with the Glass Packaging Institute and Don't Trash Glass. I may have met some of you guys at Recycle Colorado in June, so I'm excited to see some of you again and new faces as well. So Don't Trash Glass is a program that's run by Glass King Recovery and Recycling, and the Glass Packaging Institute is the main partner. This is a program that collects separated glass from participating establishments in the hospitality industry so that it can be recycled into new bottles. Separated glass pickup programs are essential to reaching Colorado's circular economy goals. Glass is completely inert and not a non-toxic material that can be recycled as many times as it can be collected, and recycled glass is essential to keeping costs and carbon emissions down. However, there is glass being created and sold within the state of Colorado that is not making a circular journey into new bottles. And this isn't because it's not possible, but because we lack the resources to do so. And this is the issue that Don't Trash Glass is addressing. When glass is picked up in a dual stream system, it's broken into tiny pieces and contaminated with other materials while being transported to the MRF. And at the MRF, glass is crushed even more until the end result often ends up being up to 50% contamination. The contamination can be small bits of paper, metals, plastics, or other non-recyclable materials that have made their way into the stream on accident. This glass is incredibly hard to sort and even harder to recycle into new bottles, so it's often downcycled into other materials such as fiberglass. However, when glass is separated at the source, it's almost 100% glass. Through our Don't Trash Glass program, we might pick up some small metal caps or limes or other organics, but there's nothing substantial that will ruin the process. Don't Trash Glass was first launched by Glass King Recovery and Recycling in Phoenix, Arizona in 2018. And then since then, together with Glass King as the hauler, we've partnered with organizations like Owens, Illinois, Diageo, and others who have a special vested interest in recycling container glass. Whether these partnerships have been inspired by environmental goals, carbon goals, or other, the end result is the same. The glass is getting recycled into new bottles. These partnerships have helped Don't Trash Glass expand to 4 states and adding new locations, most recently here in Denver in 2024. Don't Trash Glass offers an opportunity to recycle almost 100% of the glass that's discarded at participating bars and restaurants, as well as hospitality and event venues. And you'll actually get to hear from one of our event venue partners later on in the presentation. This helps Colorado's circular economy goals by decreasing costs and greenhouse gas emissions. And this is especially important for Colorado because the Don't Trash Glass program, from pickup to drop off, operates in just a 60-mile radius. And this is unheard of in most parts of the country. So, just further proving that Colorado is really uniquely positioned for this kind of program. Now I'd like to share a video with you guys that we use as promotional material for interested partners, whether that's an establishment or a donor partner. Let me know if you can't hear the audio.
Glass Packaging Institute works to maintain glass as a leader in sustainable packaging. One way is through the Don't Trash Glass program, which has been closing the gap on commercial glass recycling since 2018. Don't Trash Glass brings manufacturers, distributors, and hospitality venues together to keep glass out of landfills and get it back into the supply chain for new, even more sustainable bottles. Learn how you can become a sponsor or partner today and choose glass.
And I'll make sure you guys have access to that video. It's also on YouTube in case you want to share that with anyone who might be interested. Now I'm gonna throw it over to Celine from Glass to Glass, our processing partner, and she's gonna talk a little bit more about the journey of a glass bottle through the program and Glass to Glass's role in it.
Thanks, Rebecca. So my name is Celine Andriano, and I'm the general manager here at Glass to Glass, and I've worked on a lot of business development over the last couple of years, and I've worked with Recycle Colorado as well. I just want to convey that we are increasing our processing of glass, and I can give you an example. Don't Trash Glass provided us with 12 tons so far this month. That is amazing. Last year, I believe it was half that. So we are building it. And just to further clarify that we are part of the circular economy here, we provide all of the glass that is collected, the whole bottle glass that is collected. We provide that material, we process it out, we provide that back to the melting facilities that are locally, strategically located in between our facility, or I mean, on either side of our facility, north and south. And this month alone, we have collected 3,000 tons of MRF so far. Of that, 1,000 tons is going back to the landfills. So those MRFs are providing us with a lot of trash, right? And of that material, a lot of it is also broken down so much that we're not able to capture it all, as Rebecca was saying. But we are collecting 700 tons of glass. That's our mark right now. I'm thinking that we're going to be nearing 1,000 by the end of the month. That's huge. Um, and that's mixed glass. And of that, we'll be processing that out and sending that to the facilities. And it's considered clean glass. And clean glass is exactly what our processing plant is made to process. The MRF makes it very difficult for us. It takes about 30 days for a bottle to go full circle in the state of Colorado. And I, I'm looking forward to the Don't Trash Glass program being able to provide more opportunity for glass collection throughout the Front Range and the Western Slope regions in Colorado. And I will hand it back to Rebecca.
Great, thank you. So two of our large volume venues are the Denver Arts Complex and the Red Rocks Amphitheater. So now I'm gonna let Katie talk a little bit more about her experience as a participant.
Yeah, hi. So I'm your client testimonial person for today. But I mentioned that I'm with Denver Arts and Venues. That's the city agency that owns and operates the Arts Complex and Red Rocks Amphitheater, known and beloved to all of us. We started a glass collection program, I think in November of last year, upon realizing that we were not recycling any of the glass bottles that came from our facilities. We have full bar service at the Arts Complex, so mixed drinks, alcohol, wine, lots of wine. At Red Rocks, not quite as much glass volume because most of our beverages are sold in like aluminum cans already. There's no glass bottles like sold and handed over to patrons for kind of obvious reasons, but people do bring a lot of glass when they tailgate before shows. And then, of course, we're using alcohol for mixed drinks at the venue. So anyway, since beginning that collection, it's slowly been ramping up and we've seen some great success. One thing that's also, I think, very much worth mentioning here is that both of our facilities do a post-event sort for everything, which is very unique and something that I hope more venues and operators find a way in their budgets to adopt because it really helps our diversion rate, and it's been a huge success. So we're already sorting everything back of house. There's not a whole lot of training front of house folks or patrons to sort everything separately. We already have staff that are contracted to do all janitorial services, including sort every material that's collected throughout the facility. So in less than a year, we've captured about 50 tons of glass. So we are super excited about that. For the Arts Complex, they kind of struggled with their waste diversion numbers. In the first half of last year, they were at about 13% of the waste being diverted, and that more than doubled to 34% for the first half of 2025 since starting glass recycling and also composting more stringently. So that's really, really exciting. Red Rocks already kind of nails it with waste diversion. They hover around 50% for a diversion rate. It did bump up to 53% for the first half of 2025, in thanks to separating all of our glass. So yeah, we've been really happy with it so far, and hope more organizations kind of look to this program to increase their diversion rate.
Thank you, Katie. Here are some photos from, is this from the arts complex or
Yeah, that's the arts complex
and we'll show some more photos in
glamour
just
shots.
a moment. Yeah. So there's lots of benefits for participating in Don't Trash Glass, the reduced waste metrics, media outreach opportunities, and a visible commitment, all of which Katie basically just covered, and how beneficial it's been for the team there. Um, So participating locations will receive promotional flyers, Don't Trash Glass branded materials, as well as staff training. And if cost is the only barrier to some participants from joining, then we're always happy to kind of work out something, whether that's an alternate payment plan or a sponsorship for them, because we don't want anyone to have extensive barriers to getting the glass recycled. And here are some more photos of how the setup kind of looks. So on the right, we have the indoor bins, and this would go in the back of house. And then once they're completely filled, they're taken out back into these larger gaylords. And the pickup rate is determined between the establishment and Glass King. And with the partnerships and the growing of the organization, we've been able to invest in higher quality containers, which has been super helpful because they get a longer life and we can use them for longer, which is good because they may be made out of recycled plastic, but they are still plastic. So being able to use them for as long as possible is really beneficial. So that's all I have for the official presentation. I'm happy to take questions now, and then if you have any questions later, please reach out to our Director of Accounts and Community Engagement, Amy Gray. She couldn't be with us today, but she is located in Denver and will be a local resource moving forward.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rebecca, Katie, and Celine. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, what kind of partnership GPA is looking for in Denver?
So we are open to partnerships with if you have a contact in a municipality and getting their establishments interested, or contacts with a location where we could have a secondary processing, or another hub that we can use if it's further outside of Denver, and the Broomfield one no longer makes sense, or a financial contribution from someone like Owens, Illinois, or um, I'm sorry, another group that may have a vested interest in glass recycling.
Thank you.
So that's good to know that you can partner if you're close to Denver, right? And you're a restaurant or municipality. And
Hmm.
then if you are, let's just say Western Slope, Grand Junction, you would be willing to partner with someone who can help be that collection.
Yes, yeah, we're absolutely interested in expanding to other parts of the state because of the selling point of the 60-mile radius. We would need another hub somewhere that will hold the glass, and then we could transport it by rail somewhere or by truck, just to make it make sense logistically with the weight of the glass.
Sure. Yeah. What would be some of the requirements if somebody wanted to set up a collection site somewhere outside of that 60-mile radius?
That is a very good question. It would have to be able to operate at the same level as glass to glass. So I don't know if Celine, you want to talk about some of the
Hmm.
requirements that you guys have?
Sure. We do partner with local haulers in the state, but also one of the things that we're working with one recycler that is southeast in Colorado right now. We are, I think ideally, if we placed more than one of the don't trash glass containers at the larger facilities throughout the state and then waited for those containers to fill up, it would be very cost effective. And so I am in contact with a couple of companies right now or entities right now that are interested in finding space for several containers to be placed there, because we do, Don't Trash Glass does have a box truck that actually services these containers and drops all of those containers off at our facility and can fit 9 containers at a time into the truck. So that's a new opportunity for restaurants, bars, events, recyclers alike throughout the entire state. So, of course, we want to start in the Denver metro areas first and closer to us, but we are working to establish some connections that are a little further away to help them out because they really want to keep glass out of the waste stream.
Awesome. Thanks, Lane.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, Jamie, it'd be good to reach out to Angela in Grand Junction. That's just the biggest city on the Western Slope that comes to mind. So, but I'm sure, I mean, Celine, do you know much about like the circular transportation network? I think we maybe talked about it. And you are on mute if you're before you start.
You mean from Grand Junction? Is that what we're talking about? Are you
Yeah, and like
specifically talking
along the
about
way
that?
too, like partnering with them because I know they run some trucking routes to pick up materials.
Yeah, we do. We are receiving glass from WM out in Grand Junction. We're also really trying to steer a rail system out in the Western Slope region. But first, we really do need to establish collection sites out there. So Chaffee County is interested, Mesa County is interested, of course, and that is a slow moving machine right now. We are at a snail's pace. It takes a lot of coordination to get those collection sites established. There needs to be, approval from the cities and the counties and so we are working with the Western Slope regions to try and establish some collections. And we're hopeful that Don't Trash Glass will be able to set some containers out there in the near future.
Perfect. I know it's been quite the effort, so I appreciate your work on that, Celine, and everyone else who's been a part of that effort. Perfect. So sounds like you guys are already in talks. That's awesome. Well, anyone else have any questions or thoughts about partnership locations?
Well, I can also comment too that I'm very interested in working with the CEDC and trying to establish some, milk runs, for glass specifically, because you don't necessarily have to carry glass in end dumps or, smaller containers or 20-yard containers. We can actually do it in super sacks. I actually receive glass from Montana in super sacks, usually 15 to 20 on a monthly basis because they don't have an outlet in their region. So we accept their glass. And so I know that the CEDC down in Pueblo does provide, or the Pueblo location does accept materials in super sacks, and so I'm hopeful that we can get something worked out for collections down in that region.
Awesome. I think Cameron, if you're on, aren't you with CEDC? I don't know if you want to share anything more on the transportation network.
Hi, sorry, my mic wasn't working. We are looking at exploring glass a little bit more. There's some bumps in the road, like Celine said, slow moving machine, but definitely exploring it. And I was about to send you a note, Celine, as well, to be chatting afterwards, because that is definitely, especially on the Western Slope, as CTN is going smoothly, would like to expand into materials.
Thanks for the update, Cameron. Yeah, no, there's a lot of wineries out there. I mean, there's breweries everywhere across Colorado. It's like the mecca of breweries and glass bottles and everything. But definitely on that western slope with all those wineries and everything, that'd be great to capture that. So cool. Any other questions or thoughts? Cool. Okay. Rebecca, Celine, Katie, is there anything that we can do to help support your work besides kind of doing some outreach to our municipalities and making people aware of the program?
Yeah, I think outreach is the most important part. Some people just don't even know that this is an option. Or if they know it's an option, they think it might not be feasible for their organization. Just have them ask. We always want to make sure that we can get something working.
Cool. Yeah, we can do that. We're getting a new website, so hopefully some more resources are coming where we can bridge all of these connections because there's just so many exciting programs out there that we want to make sure everyone's aware of. Okay. Any final thoughts, Celine?
Well, I met Mary Ann yesterday. She just decided that she was going to start dropping off whole bottle glass to our facility, and she works with CU. And I steered her in the Recycle Colorado direction because she is not currently a member, and I think she would be a fantastic member. So I'm hopeful that she'll reach out to you. And she is very passionate about the circularity of glass in Colorado. And so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that she reaches out to you.
Yeah, awesome. And we got to build up all of our materials. This is how we do it. Connecting everyone and making everyone aware of what's going on, even our people in Missouri. Do you guys do similar programs in other states, or are you? I know you said Colorado's a big target because of the accessibility, but I don't know if there's other examples.
Yeah, so we have a program in Phoenix, and in Chicago, and we just expanded to Louisville as well.
Cool. How do those differ from or are similar to the ones in Colorado?
I'm mostly familiar with the Colorado one, but the Chicago one's going to be a little bit different because it's a more of a urban setting. And I actually that would be a really good follow-up question that I'd like to get back to you.
Cool. Yeah. Feel free. Any follow-up materials, we'll send it out to this group and the people who can't make it. A lot of people watch the recordings since they can't attend, and they learn a little bit.
Or Scott, you can chime in.
Yeah, sorry, I'm multitasking with different meetings on different devices. The biggest difference with Louisville is we're getting a lot of warehoused glass from the spirits industry.
Okay.
Um, but the core of this program, works the same. Um, we have aggregation, collection and aggregation activity. We need a processing partner. And usually, the places that we're in are places where there are brands that have their glass made and filled, uh, who are interested in, boosting the recycled content and, supporting glass recycling, right? So, Colorado is great for that. It was very circular. We make the glass in plants in Colorado, fill it at the breweries, largely beer bottles made in Colorado, at the plants, and can recycle it back into to bottles in Colorado. So in Louisville, more spirits bottles, whiskeys and things like that, liquors. And Chicago's kind of just another version of Phoenix where it's a collection of everything from some of the large venues. It always helps to have some large anchor venues, and like the Arts Complex and Red Rocks is great. We are, collecting and helped and ready to expand at the airport. I think I saw airport folks here. So we've been working on a plan to help expand the glass collection at the Terminal B. And we've got other large venues in some of the other state locations as well.
Awesome. Terminal B. That's my wing of the airport.
There's a lot of day drinking going on there in the United Lounge and some of the restaurants. So there's heavy glass usage. Where it's just wherever there's a lot high concentration of glass usage is a place where we can help.
For sure. Yeah.
There's also a new speakeasy in DIA, and I heard about it, but I can't ever find it. I have no idea where it is, but
And,
Isn't that the point of the speakeasy? You have to get clued in.
yeah.
I just saw it, and I think it was in A Gates, almost near like A4. I was at A14, and it looks like the smallest bookshop in the
Yeah,
airport, and it's just like a little nook, and you can go in. It's kind of cool. So,
I'm going there today, so I am going to check it out.
yeah,
Check it. We could easily service that
I know.
apart from Terminal B, even if it's in A.
I will let them know.
Okay.
perfect. Cool. It's always so funny when I'm explaining to people who don't know about recycling is like how it's so regional or based off of like what is happening in each state. So Kentucky is spirits, we're beer, and we have Rocky Mountain bottling, so they can just take all the glass that is broken and chipped and recycled in the state and then make new beer bottles because beer is the thing here. And I'm sure in Kentucky, Chicago, they have their own story, which is kind of neat. So cool. Thanks for that context, Scott.
Sure.
Alexa, go ahead.
Yes, hello. I have to speak on behalf of the airport. Um, the Williams and Graham, I think, is what you're talking about, that new speakeasy. So that is on the A concourse. If you go west, you will run into it. But yeah, on the glass front, we are currently recycling glass on the B concourse through our zero waste valet program, if anyone is familiar. But essentially, we are collecting glass separately for almost all of the concessions on that B concourse. All of our concessions elsewhere are technically required, though the kind of oversight for um, recycling and composting compliance is a little tough, but a lot of them are recycling glass. But on the A and C concourses, for those that are familiar with the airport, they are just sending those into the single stream. But we will be collecting that glass separately in the next year to 2 years as our program on the B concourse expands to A and C. So we are not a part of Don't Trash Glass, but we are separating that glass from B, and we're sending almost 12 tons a month from B to glass. And we're really excited about that, and certainly excited about the expansion of that. So just wanted to share. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions about the airport specifically.
Thanks, Alexa. Yeah, glasses making it happen here in Colorado. It's super exciting. I love highlighting glass. Cool. Any other thoughts, questions? I could just keep going with thoughts and things, but we appreciate you guys being here. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll make sure that you guys get the presentation deck as well as the video, and feel free to reach out with any other questions. You can ask me as well, but also Amy is local, so it might be the easiest contact.
Okay. Brian, go ahead. Looks like you have a last minute thought.
Yeah, sorry, I got pulled off on a call during part of the presentation there. I'm curious with this program that you have. Do you have dedicated event space collection opportunities, like to capture the glass for like the bars that are serving drinks, things like that? Like at event spaces for permitted events?
Yeah, so like in an open space, there might be like a festival or something. Is that?
Yeah.
We are working. That's something that our Amy, who's relatively new, has really been putting an emphasis on. And we did a couple events this summer that were successful. So there is work towards that as well.
Okay, because we know a bunch of the event spaces in Denver are now going to start requiring some diversion. And many of them are looking for assistance in that process due to their nonprofit status. Cinco de Mayo is one that comes to my mind right off the top of my head. which is run by Newset Development Corporation here in Denver. The one at the one that is downtown. But also there's a bunch of events that we have in Westwood where groups like Topo Chico are handing out all these free glass bottles, but then there's no collection of the glass. And it's a really low income community, disproportionately impacted. So if there were some ways that we could, um, drive some free capture for them of precious materials or low cost discounted, um, I would love to be a cog in that system. Scott, I see your comment. Um, but I'm gonna put my email in the chat real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure that you and Amy get connected for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's several food and wine festivals. That's the great thing about Colorado is that there's festivals going on throughout the state all year. And there are lists out there that we are finding to be able to capture the glass that's generated from these events. And, throughout the summer, like Aspen has a food and wine festival and things like that. So ideally, it would be nice to be able to participate in all of them, most of them, if we could. But yeah, I'm excited about the growth. And the opportunity to collect at all of these festivals.
Yeah, our question, our concern definitely obviously is the cost burden for capture. But if there's a high quantity of a single stream like glass is, and the Westwood events just come straight to mind because they give out like a pallet of glass and it's not captured.
Sure.
That'd be a good opportunity.
Mhm.
I don't know. Do you guys, when you do these events, I'm guessing do you bring in teams to help with the glass collection, or is there any opportunities for individuals? Let's just say Brian really wanted to get a Gaylord out there himself, or something like how does that work? If it's a thing. I don't know.
Celine,
Do you want me to answer this?
Go ahead.
So for liability reasons, we generally don't want anybody hauling our containers and primarily. However, we have local churches that call. We have, we will make it, we will do what we can to make containers available to, those events for those that are calling, but also we're also seeking those events. And so Amy and I have actually been working on coordinating an event that's happening in Chaffee in October. So we're excited about that because it's like Evergreen. Like Evergreen started out, we only collected like 12 bottles 3 years ago, and now we're collecting over a full 4x4x4 container, 2 container fulls, So we're building it, and that's what it takes is to be seen. And Don't Trash Glass is willing to participate in those types of events to let the residents and communities know that they're here and they're not going anywhere.
Cool. Celine, I feel like you need to get like an intern, or or Amy, you need to get like an intern or someone who drives a truck around Colorado and goes to all these events and just parks it, collects glass, and then brings back like the Oscar Mayer Wiener thing. Like
The giant glass bottle.
yeah, a
We might
ball.
need something like that. I mean, there's a lot of interest right now, especially with EPR. There's just a lot of interest. So
Yeah, it would be a fun thing just to have a little collection vehicle up and down the mountains. I don't know. Cool. All right. Any other thoughts? Awesome. Well, I will follow up with the recording and then the slides and the link to the YouTube video so that you guys can spread it far and wide. And then, Rebecca, if there's anything else that you need, or Celine or Katie, for us to share out, you know how to find me. And we're happy to spread the word far and wide.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hope you have a good day.
You too.